Know our channel. You know I always have politically funny things, and I was trying to find stuff on Kellyanne Conway. Nice stuff, because the mean stuff is all on. I could find that really easy. I couldn't find anything nice and funny, so I just chose this because I got frustrated. So I got a breaking story here. Watch Spicer annihilates Russia scandal with bombshell about Hillary. The media hid. Uh-oh. Sean Spicer, the White House press secretary, schooled liberal reporters earlier this week when they accused President Trump of being an agent of Russia. Sean Spicer rebuked the media's attempts to tie Trump to Russia by detailing Hillary's corruption. Let's just watch.
John, second question on Paul Manafort. The Associated Press has published a report based on documents that he had a plan to quote-unquote benefit Vladimir Putin for a client. And with him back in the headlines, I'm just wondering if you still stand by the comment that he had a quote-unquote limited role in the campaign. And if you could explain a little bit more about how spending months as the campaign's top official is a limited role.
Yeah, thank you. I've tried to avoid commenting. I know I've talked to a lot of you about the individual stories, but I think obviously this one's started to catch a lot of buzz. So to comment briefly on this, I think nothing in this morning's report references any actions by the president, the White House, or any Trump administration official. I think that's got to be clear from the get-go. The report is entirely focused on actions that Paul took a decade ago regarding. He's a former advisor of the campaign, and the actions that came to light this morning are about a client that he had last decade. I know I commented on this the other day, and clearly I should have been more precise with respect to Paul's role. So let me clarify this and kind of go through the facts. Paul was hired to oversee the campaign's delegate operation. He had played a significant role in the convention and delegate operations of 4 previous Republican nominees: Bob Dole, former presidents George H.W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, and Gerald Ford. And to be clear, he got the job done on the delegates. The president won the Republican nomination after months of speculation after a potentially contested convention. In total, he was involved in the campaign for a total of just under 5 months. He was first hired on March 28th to oversee delegate operations. He was made the chief strategist and campaign chairman on May 19th, and his relationship with the campaign ended on August 19th. The AP story focuses on his activities from the last decade. And to place it in context, Paul represented many foreign clients, according to publicly available data, in the Caribbean, Asia, Africa, and Europe. His representation of foreign clients is public and similar to the work of Tony Podesta, a Clinton campaign fundraiser whose brother John chaired Hillary Clinton's campaign. Last year, not last decade, Tony Podesta lobbied against sanctions for Russia's largest bank. And John Podesta, Clinton's campaign chair, sat on the board of a Russian-based energy company. This was something tied to Hillary Clinton, who was the face of the failed Russia reset policy. So it's not even close. That's what we're talking about now isn't even close to her most significant role with respect to Russia. As Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, along with the Obama administration, approved a deal that gave Russia 1/5 of America's uranium reserves. Hillary's husband, former President Bill Clinton, received over $500,000 by a paid speech by a bank connected to the uranium deal, and Vladimir Putin personally called the former president and thanked him for giving the speech. So an individual who worked for less than the campaign for 5 months for the president's 2-year-long campaign, who worked with a Russian entity a decade ago, is the subject of rampant media speculation all day long, even though the Clintons had much more expensive and extensive ties. Well, as Secretary of State, Hillary was crafting a policy she said was designed to, quote, strengthen Russia. And to be clear, the president has no personal financial dealings with Russia. His ties are limited to hosting a contest in Russia once and selling a Palm Beach home to a businessman in 2005. That's it. And for members of the media trying to conflate Paul's role and activities with Monday's hearing, I have another reminder. Numerous individuals, including former Obama Director of National Intelligence James Clapper and acting CIA Director Mike Morrell, and members of the Intelligence Committee from both parties who have been briefed, have said across the board that they have seen zero evidence of any collusion between the Trump campaign and Russian officials. And that's not going to be changed by a former business dealings of a...
Okay, that was good. Nice. In other words, keep bringing up Russia. keep bringing up the fact that Trump's with Russia, we're going to open the can of whoop butt on you. Not only does Hillary Clinton have more ties to Russia than President Trump, there's actually evidence of pay-to-play corruption that the media ignored. The press continued to push the Democratic narrative in an attempt to discredit President Trump. They are looking for any kind of connection between him and Russia to exploit. Being unable to find any evidence of wrongdoing, they instead fabricate stories. This time they're targeting Paul Manafort. The mainstream media is accusing him of being a liaison between Trump and Russia. In reality, Manafort only worked with Trump campaign for about 5 months and was responsible for communicating with the delegates. Manafort has a long history in both the American and foreign politics. He has served his campaigns in many prominent Republicans, including General Ford, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, and Bob Dole. Despite the media is zeroing in on Manafort's ties to Russia, but Manafort did work with Russia over a decade ago, in addition to working with many other countries. I'm sorry, I gotta put on my glasses. I was trying to read that whole last thing just now. Truly, there is no story here. Instead, this fake news proves that the media is in bed with the Democrats. Yes, yes, yes. Hillary Clinton and her campaign manager, John Podesta, both have extensive and possibly illegal ties to Russia, but these connections go unreported because she is a liberal Democrat. The media is attempting to vindicate themselves and the Democrats. If they can convince the public that Trump cheated and get elected, it would excuse them for being so wrong with the way they gave Hillary Clinton a 98% chance to win the election. In no industry but the press is it possible to be proven wrong time and time again without consequence. They cannot be trusted. The press has lost any shred of credibility it once had. That's true. They are fading into obscurity as new forms of media are taking over. Yes, hello. And they are lashing out at the president who is helping make that disintegration happen. They're about to be they're about as despicable as and unpatriotic as it gets. No doubt. That's a really good saying. They are about as despicable and unpatriotic as it gets. So true. Why do you think the media is protecting the Democrats? Comment below. Let us know what you think. And share this with your friends on Facebook and Twitter, because I don't recall seeing much of this particular homing in on the Russian thing, how he destroyed them on that. I would have to say they better watch out that they don't talk about Russia too much more. I think they probably would, if the people on the left are smart, they should back off the Russian thing, because not 10 years